I'm reading from Blue Self-Portrait by Noemi Lefebvre, translated by Sophie Lewis and published by Les Fugitives. The captain announced something, no idea what. The steward demonstrated how to breathe with the mask on and how to tie the life jacket, but I didn't look up. I had exactly an hour and 30 minutes in which to switch languages. "You'll have to change the way you talk, my girl," I told myself in German, in French, then in German again, then in French, as if I was my own mother. I took stock of my wounds, from head to toe, from my head hammering with the wrath of grapes, my hunched shoulders, the skitterings in my stomach, my weak knees, both right and left, to my arms and legs grown skinny, and me trembling all over almost without stopping. In short, I was suffering a fundamental lack of serenity, despite sending out serene signals. I was practically basking in fulfilment if you went solely on appearances. If I'd allowed my inner goings-on to show, you'd have taken me for a cow bellowing at the moon. Like the time in my car when I started bellowing. Moo-calling, I mean. The nocturnal call of the cow. I still wonder how I did it that night, that particular freezing one. I emitted such a horrid bovine cry that there must have been something of the animal in me. A cow on the road, a great cry between two moments of civilization I was in, simultaneous translation. Now, crazed down to my bony cylinders, I reined in my savage cry, channeled all my energy towards serenity, and it was working. So it appeared no one in this plane would have heard my terrible cry of bleu de cul, as people call each other in Germany, stupid cow. I was translating in simulcast. The domestic yet animal coo who looks for her calf at dawn, although she knows with her portion of bovine grey cells that the calf with the number-stamped ear will never come back, because he is too lastingly not there. Goes on calling out for a day or two, but ends up buttoning her bellow. Goes back to ruminating as if she never had that calf, one calf, nor two or three, or any calf with or without a number. The animal who truly sees the dying of each second. I'd bellowed so hard that evening that I'd frightened myself. I was so closely aligned with the cow that I was practically in symbiosis with nature, toe to toe with nature, as if between she and I the distance had vanished, verschwunden, I translated automatically. And now the desire to bellow seized me again in mid-Berlin-Paris flight. You go to Venice, you end up dying in Venice. You go to a sanatorium and you end up with tuberculosis. One's environment has a disproportionate impact, I observed yet again, this time inside the plane. No matter what exactly changes around you, wham, you are completely messed up, maybe even dead. I hadn't noticed takeoff, yet I was flying, and as I'm not the keenest breed of traveller, the mere fact of our flight alone could have sent me into a tailspin. The altitude alone potentially enough to tip me over. Though I was unaffected by this flight, still my sister was. "We're flying," my sister said. "Can you feel it? We're flying." Flying has a big impact on me. Every time feels as big as my first flight. I could see the effect on her, but nothing for me. I said I could feel it, but I couldn't. So we wouldn't get started. I opened a book and got stuck in. I did my best to lose myself in my book, to become as one with the book, to think of nothing outside it, to feel nothing except what was sensed by my eyes on the paper. But of course I could see myself clearly trying to forget myself and trying to become as one and dissolve myself. So really, I wasn't absorbed in anything, was becoming nothing and could feel nothing at all. "That was a super trip," my sister said over and over, and I replied, "Yes, super, exceptional. I'll never forget it," she said again. And I replied, "Neither." "I'll never forget it," she said again. And I replied, "Me neither, never." I was actually thinking, never, truly never. How could I forget? And my insides were exploding noiselessly while meltwater flowed from my forehead and down my back.